Melt Cosmetics had been hinting that they were doing a collaboration with Disney, and I was kind of thinking to myself, Disney? That seems a bit weird because like Melt doesn't really strike me as like the princessy type thing. But when I saw that this is what they were doing, a collaboration with Nightmare Before Christmas, I was like, this makes sense. This is the Melt Cosmetics that I know. A massive thank you to both Makeup on Your Radar and Point Click Vibes. The two of them sent me on information and pictures and I hugely appreciate it. But let's get talking about this one. The whole collection will be available on October 2nd at 2 p.m. CST, so it is actually coming up quite soon. There's a lot in this. Now, it's not as big as previous collections like Beetlejuice or the Muerta collection, but it is rather large. But I think they've kind of cut back a little bit so that it's a little bit more accessible to people in terms of cost. Because previous bundles that we had from them in terms of full collections were like up at $350, like crazy expensive. But this one is $175. So it is edited down more, but I think this makes sense for it. There's the Halloween Town palette, which is retailing for $60. And I gotta say, I quite like the colours on this. Could I dupe this out with other palettes that I have? Absolutely. I definitely could. I think there's like elements here of like the Muerta palette, like the Viva palette. Lots of different ones here. I'm going to say something contentious. I don't think Melt's formula is that great. Like it's decent, but I don't think it necessarily warrants that sort of a price tag. I know, I'm going to get into trouble. But I think the packaging on this is done very well. Of course, if you're like really pernickety or particular about the way that like eyeshadows are ordered, this sort of like slapdash approach is going to drive you a bit nuts. But if you're a fan of the film, you're going to get why the pans are kind of placed in that way. In general, let's be real, Melt, when they take on an IP, they do it very well. Then they have the True Love Never Dies digital highlighter, and that's going to retail for $42. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. Although I would struggle to use this because I'd hate to like screw up the embossing. It looks so cute. Sally and Jack are just adorable. And that swatch looks absolutely stunning. I would, however, like to see how this looks on a couple of different skin tones just to see does it leave like any sort of a cast. All that being said though, I think it is absolutely stunning. Then there's two ultra matte lipsticks. They're going to be $24 each. The one that we're looking at right now is Pumpkin King. I think that is stunning. This is like just so beautifully autumnal, but also kind of perfect for coming in for Christmas too. I really, really like the shade of that. Super, super rich. Very, very nice. And it seems like they're using the same sort of components that they used for the Beetlejuice collection. So that's kind of interesting. And the other ultra matte lipstick that they have is Lock, Stock and Barrel. Now this is super Melt. Like it looks so cool, so interesting, very edgy. Because I had kind of felt like Melt had kind of dropped off a little bit in terms of interest and just the general vibe. But this feels a little bit more like a return to their old ways. They also have two gel liners. They're $24 each. There's Master of Fright and Terrible Vision. I kind of feel like the two of these are a little bit too close to one another. I know that one is metallic and one is matte, but in my mind, it's just a smidgen too close. You know, it kind of feels like they couldn't make a decision as to whether or not they wanted to go to metallic or did they want to go to matte, and they just kind of went, why not have both? And it's just kind of a pity. I think they could have pared it down slightly more. They have a Halloween Town bag for $35. I mean, this is just perfect. Like even the colours here look very much like Sally's patchwork dress. This is done very, very well. Would I use it? No, but it's still very cute. And there's a hand mirror for $25. So it's in the same sort of shape as they had for the Beetlejuice one. So I would imagine around about the same size as well. Very smart. I think it looks quite cute. I'm assuming they're having all of these be available as singular items, which I think is very smart as well. I have to say, of all of the Disney collections that they could have done, this makes the most sense for Melt as a brand. And I also feel it's actually done quite well. Like I looked at this and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Will I necessarily spend $175? No, I don't think so, because the more I kind of like look at this, the more I'm like, I don't think I get the use out of it. I think the thing that I really like is the highlighter. I really, really like that. Maybe I'll drop $42 on that. But like, other than that, I feel like I can dupe that eyeshadow palette. I feel like those sort of gel eyeliners, I kind of have bits like that. The lipsticks are nice, but I probably have stuff like that already. I don't know, have I managed to talk myself out of that? This is very unlike me, lads. Because you know me, I'm an idiot, really, when it comes to makeup. But I think it's mostly because the last couple of Melt eyeshadows that I've gotten, I was a bit underwhelmed. And I feel a little bit like they've like jumped the shark. They're not as good as they once were. I also feel like there needs to be some like reformulations when it comes to their products, because they're good, but they could definitely be better. Like there's others that are on the market that aren't as expensive and they perform better. And I'd just really like to see them innovate further beyond just amazing conceptual ideas like this, because this is done very well, but I'd like to see them innovate in terms of just the quality of the product or the way that it's actually performing. As I said, I'm probably being like way too critical here, but like it's an expensive collection, you know? But let me know what you guys think. Are you here for it? Do you also love Nightmare Before Christmas? Because I mean, it's amazing. But let me know what you guys think. I like it, but I just can't justify that cost. Just saying.